There are governors who actually have the courtesy. There are governors who appear here and they cooperate with the committee for us to be able to do our job. But somebody who never extends courtesy to the Senate, somebody who shows contempt at every opportunity, that is not somebody who should be getting courtesy calls from senators. You don't even need to tell him that you're coming because, like for me, as a senator of Nairobi or as a senator of Homa Bay or Nyandarua, you can't say that this is Sakaja's house that we have to knock on his door. No, this is a public entity. I mean, we just proceed and go. So if somebody is in the habit of being discourteous, there is no need for him to get any courtesies from the Senate.
And maybe, please, Chairman, and I'm not opening the discussion because we have had it. It's only that Senator Sifuna has jogged my mind, so that it is not seen that we have a problem with governors appearing. It is fair to say that over 95% of the governors appear before this committee very faithfully. Yeah. We only have a few problems with a few governors, especially those that have received very, very huge budgets. We have a small problem with, not a small problem, a very big problem in Nairobi, a problem with Isiolo, a problem with, I think, Kiambu, a few governors. But most of the governors are realizing that this is a very, very important process, a very, very important parliamentary business, and they take it as serious. So we just want to ask that their colleagues just take cue and follow, so that we don't just blanket condemn every governor and say that they don't appear before the Senate. They appear. We have not had a problem with most of the governors. They appear as scheduled. Only a few.
Thank you, Senator Methu. The practice in this committee is whenever we do the county visits, we do not go to the governor's office. We call the governor to the county assembly or to a venue of our choice. I remember when I led a delegation to Samburu, we secured a venue. I think it was a public, Catholic-run institution. Mm. So the governor came, met us there before we went to do the site visits. Yeah. So that has always been the practice, that because it's the person you are coming to oversight. So if you're going to spend 2 hours in his office taking tea and mandazi, what message are you communicating to the members of public? So for this committee, we do not do those courtesies of county commissioner or county governor. We go and have a meeting of the committee in the county, and we invite the governor to that meeting. And I think that also should be the way other committees or conduct themselves. Senator Onyonka.
Chair, I'm glad to hear Senator Methu and all of us discussing the relevance of the visits we've made. To be sincere with you, Chair, some of our sittings, I think we can do them in some of the counties. Yep. Because the exercise we're conducting, I would like to call it more like a quasi-financial legal outfit. But there is a political angle to it. When the public sees us responding and discussing these critical issues at their county headquarters, it has a different significance than when we are in Nairobi. I think it would help our committee, and indeed all the committees, that we get out of Nairobi and just go out and check out on what these people are doing. Thank you.
And maybe it should be customary that counties that are neighboring, Kiambu, Machakos, Kajiado, counties that are neighboring Nairobi, there is no great expense in driving to the county assembly, holding our meetings there, and then doing site visits. So I guess that was the spirit even when we started this session. We just need to give effect to it. So George, when we are looking at the schedule, let's also build in some time that we can utilize for those county visits. Mm. So,
what if we take the direction option? My opinion is we visit counties which have advanced reports so that we can do it on their ground.
Yes. Yeah, we can prioritize that.
Yes.
I think Methu is the one who talked of cluster, so clustering. It makes it easy for the OAG because the OAG also operates in certain clusters. So we pick a cluster at the north, a cluster in western, a cluster at the coast. That will make our work more impactful. Senator Gatar.
Chair, for the last 1 year that I've sat in this committee, I have gathered some intelligence maybe from these far-flung counties, especially the eastern counties, the Turkana, all those counties, they have serious issues to do with the management of resources. I don't know for what reasons. I think they take advantage of the fact that they are far, and I think as a committee we are supposed not to make sure that we are supposed to exercise what we did in Turkana. You know, that Turkana issue really brought us into limelight, and I think we are supposed not to set those examples to counties like Mandela, Wajir, and those far-flung counties where people just assume that Nairobi is too far away. It will take us another 2 years before we are summoned. Maybe we will be invited to the Senate Committee on Public Accounts and so forth. I think once in a while we are supposed to make those impromptu visits to those counties, because I have witnessed, I have gathered a lot of intelligence. There is a lot of misuse of public resources in those counties. I don't know for what reasons. I think there is that assumption that they are far away from us, and I think they can make use of money the way they want to use without any due regard for adhering to those financial regulations.
Yeah, and I also want to assure the media, because I've seen there's been some pushback following your reports on some proceedings of this committee with regards to Marsabit. And having looked at what was covered in the media, in my view, it was accurate. It captured what was said here. And the beautiful thing is that these proceedings are streamed live. If someone is to challenge you on the issue of loss of KDSP funding, it was the governor himself who confirmed that the adverse opinion cost them the conditional grant. If anyone was to question you on whether 8 billion was stolen or well spent, it's in the Auditor General's report saying that he could not confirm in all material respects that the money was utilized properly. So our friends in the media, we thank you for what you're doing, and we will not allow you to go down on your own, especially when you're reporting what is factual and what is true. And I think if there is that pushback, we will have no problem as a committee going to Marsabit to verify how those resources were utilized. So be of good courage, and please continue doing what you've been doing. It has been very useful to expose some of the things that are happening in the counties. And I think we'll need to do the same thing for Nairobi County.
Chair, the interesting thing about the media, you see, the reporters who come to these committees to cover proceedings in Parliament, to cover proceedings, they are not the problem. These guys will get all the material, everything that was said. But I'm telling you, these governors have gatekeepers at the editorial teams. Yes. There are editorial teams there that are in the pockets of governors. It doesn't matter what material these reporters come with from Parliament. I can assure you. And I don't want to name the media houses because I have seen it practically. There are governors whose material cannot be aired. If it is negative on Governor Sakaja, I know the media houses that can air and the ones that cannot air them. I can't just name them here because, you know, I also have friends in the media. But they should know that we are aware that they are frustrating the work of these hard-working reporters who come to the field, who come to the committees, who come to Parliament. But when you take the story there, the editor will just tell you this one cannot air. Yeah, because they are being paid by the governors. And others have threatened that the media houses will not receive any advertisements from them. When they are putting up these beautiful photos of them waving county fees, you see that the photo of the governor is bigger than the advertisement itself. And there's two who are notorious. Chair, you have seen the advertisement every newspaper, every day in the newspaper. You are confronted, the first page you open. I don't want to go into details.
Yeah, I think it's an issue of serious frustration. I think as we conclude, the other thing we must do for Nairobi is that the legal fees. I've just been looking at the contingent liability on legal fees is 21 billion. Correct. 21 billion Kenya shillings as contingent liability. That is more than what the Senate gives to Nairobi City County. So we had agreed earlier that we'll have a separate hearing on issues to do with legal fees. So for Nairobi, we are saying we are doing, when the governor is compelled to appear, we'll have the proper responses. We will have project visitation, but we'll also have a session on legal fees. We had asked the EACC to look at the matter, and will be demanding of the EACC to give us an update on how far they've gone on the matter. I know that the county assembly could have done some inquiry on legal fees, maybe the last assembly, and it would be important for us to know how far they went. But it is untenable to have such huge liabilities of 21 billion arising from legal fees.